The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the presenters and guests, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Cincinnati-Hamilton County Community Action Agency or its Head Start program. Previously on Parent Connection.
We are broadcasting live from CAA. We moved around the locations a bit because we want to keep moving around locations. Right now, we in the spot where a lot of these great workers do a lot of amazing work for Head Start.
Yes, we
You
do.
know what I'm saying?
Yes, we are.
So we right with the people behind them. Yeah, the people behind the magic. We right where they at. Yeah. And also, we want to get into it straight with mental health, the actual definition of mental health, because I think a lot of times we hear that, right, and
they think the negative.
Yeah, right.
First thing, and it kind of speaking on that, good brother, say when they talk about mental health, the first thing they think about, oh, he crazy or she crazy, he got issues, she got issues. It could be a lot of things up under the whole mental health definition, which people actually overlook.
And she said that mental health to her name is Whitley Stallworth. Mental health to her is understanding and being honest with yourself that you have issues and getting help, especially when it's interfering with your day-to-day life. Order. So that's the thing we need to do. First of all, we need to get educated on what these mental illnesses are.
The mental wellness is about the wellness of the entire family. You know what I mean? And I think it's easy as a parent.
Nobody fix you but you. You feel me?
Yeah.
Like you are your own machine. Because if you break down, you gotta fix yourself. You gotta tighten all your bolts, put grease all on your joints and everything to get you back the normal.
And a lot of people feel different. I can't call it. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, for me, my spirituality is a key. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
My family, my wife, you know what I'm saying? My brethren, they are real key to me maintaining mental wellness today. So I think there's always more things.
It's time for the perculator. It's time for the percolator. It's time for the percolator.
So what are some of the physical symptoms that people can recognize if they are having a breakdown or a mental stress?
It's like you can get insomnia to where it make it hard for you to go to sleep. You got exhaustion, like when you just constantly tired, frequent illness. I mean, it could be any illness. You could just be sick or infection, all that stuff like that. The one thing that people don't realize, and then, it's a lot of people that I know just from my experience, everybody has had muscle pain. And you feel like, all right, man, I done pulled a muscle, I'm good, or my leg hurt and I'll be all right. Let me go ahead and ice this up and stuff like that. Nah, it's much more to it than that. Like, it's a lot of things you got to actually look into because you don't know. So you got to get down into it and know, like,
right.
And like bowel problems, stomach cramps, man, racing heart, man, that can lead into high blood pressure.
And again, all these symptoms of everything we talk about as far as on the mental side or whatever, and as well as the physical side, these are stuff that you can all find at healthdirect.gov. You know what I'm saying? These are things that you can look up if we're not just talking. You know what I'm saying? Keep going, brother.
But then you definitely break out in sweats too. There's a whole lot going on. Like you can feel hot in the inside, but feel cold on the outside. I'm pretty sure everything got a name, like insomnia, exhaustion, frequent illness, headaches, definitely the muscle pain, bowel problems, racing heart, and sweats. Everybody has felt that, and you sitting around like, okay, it's normal. I'll be all right. Let me lay down for a minute. Then I'll get up and be back to normal. Nah, you got to dig deeper down into it and know what's going on for real, because it ain't just no walk in the park. Like, you just going to get up and be like, okay, da-da-da-da-da. You can't do that. You got to dig deeper down into it for real.
Yeah, because when it comes down to it, a lot of times our body will try to tell us more about our mental and emotional well-being than we're letting on, that we paying attention to, right? You know what I'm saying? Like if most people, like right now, while they watching this, just right now, just stop and just sit completely still and just see how your shoulders feel, how your neck feel. Like, do you feel like it's way up here? Because a lot of times we spend our time on that, right? You know what I mean? How often are you really feeling yourself relaxed? You know what I mean? What does the sleep, you know what I'm saying, look like? What does, you know what I mean, all that type of stuff? Because a lot, like he said, a lot of that goes to it. You know what I mean? Our body tries to tell us that. You know what I'm saying? I've been through it a million times. You know,
Man,
and in fact, speaking of it now, it's making me question some things now because I spend a lot.
that's what I'm saying.
Because like a lot of times I'll stay up later at night because that's how I've been trying to maintain my mental wellness. I make sure I have a moment where
Mhm.
I can think things through, right? So I'll be listening to music or playing the game or something like that to numb out, and then I got to watch something that's completely stupid just to be able to rev my mind down because my mind moves so much. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So I get very few hours of sleep, but you know what I mean? I felt like it's stuff I had to do because I spend most of my day taking on other people's problems and trying to help figure those things out. And, you know, I could try to be as separate as possible, but trust me, you know what I mean? You care, right? You know what I mean? You care about people. So you hear about somebody going through some of the worst stuff in the world, it hurts you.
Mhm.
And you know, so I figure like I'm doing that, but I'm questioning now, be just going off of reading what we've been reading and
Yeah, you
discussing.
see this list right here, like that just pretty much just puts you in the mind frame. Like it's a lot of things on this list that we as people have overlooked, but now that we just explained to you, like, you know what, I done did that, I had that, you know,
Right,
that
right, right.
happened, this happened. All that time that you done overlooked, and now you looking like, you know what, something was wrong with me at the time, but you now you got a chance to look back and see like, what could I have done to make sure that, you know, I was okay back then versus what you're doing right now. But that's why when we just read all this stuff, I was like, because this even got me thinking, like, you know, everything that I named on this paper, I didn't had it and didn't even know. I'm thinking it just regular life.
Right,
And it could
right,
actually be
right.
something going on that I'm not looking into. You feel me? Because it's like that's pretty much regular life stuff.
Yeah.
But once you overlook it and you don't really pay it attention, it's like you're missing the whole concept of it.
And I think it's important that we point out in the midst of all this stuff too. Uh, for our community, and again when I speak on our community, I'm saying I'm speaking to the aspect of the disenfranchised, right?
Right.
What happens a lot is that we um we are experiencing PTSD, or we have experienced trauma in so many different levels that it looks like um bipolar. It can look like mania. It can look like schizophrenia. And really all it is this is trauma. And so we react to the things, and you know what I'm saying, that have trauma as a shell shock for a lot of people who could to find a way to, you know, feel it, right? Like when a lot of the soldiers came back from war, when they come back from war now, they diagnose them with shell shock because they've seen such atrocities, they've seen such murderous things that these things affect them in a way that, you know what I'm saying, they react to the rain, right? Like I've seen people where it rained too hard and the soldiers bow down.
Different
You know what I mean?
noises and stuff like that.
And it's the same thing here. You know what I'm saying? The best way I always tell people to look at it is this. Uh, it was the dopest way when I took trauma informed care training, right? Let's say you cutting your grass. You know what I mean? I think. Hold on, wait a minute. Did I say this last episode? I'm gonna say it one more time.
Go ahead, just bring it back.
Because the last
If you
episode
did, go
ain't
ahead, just
aired
bring it back.
yet, so I don't know if I said it. If I did, I apologize, but it's that important. So
Right.
let's say you cutting your grass and a snake. You know what I'm saying? It's coiled up. You cut it and the snake bites you, right? Okay, so bam. Now you done dealt with this real shocking thing. It's dramatic. It's happening fast. It hits you out of nowhere. You can't deal with it, right? So then time goes on. You're moving forward, and now you're cutting your grass again. You know what I mean? You think you fine, you cool. You know what I'm saying? But you know you keep your eyes open for whatever. So now you cutting your grass and you see this green thing coiled up right under the bushes. You know what I'm saying? You then resort to fight, flight, or freeze. Right? These are human beings' natural reactions to traumatic things. You know what I'm saying? Either I'm ready to, oh, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? Or I stop. I don't move, or I'm out of there. Right?
Right.
That's the natural reaction. But then when you look at it deeply, it's not even a snake. It's a coiled water hose. See, that's what we experiencing a
It's
lot
that
in our
reaction.
community. That's a lot of times what we experience with the kids, right? The kids are so used to reacting the same way, right? So it's like now, while we looking at them like, yo, it's just a water hose. Like you may look at the kid like, yo, I just tried to grab your hand. I'm speaking in the language of school, right? I just tried to grab your hand and take you to the bathroom like I do with all the other kids. And that kid may be thinking like, no, you trying to grab me, raise me in the air, whoop me. take me to somewhere to be hurt, because these are the things that it's, if it even looks like the experience I experienced that was trauma, I'm going to react that way. And I think that's what's happening a lot of times with our community. You know what I'm saying? Again, because it happens to the disenfranchised more than anything. Now I want,
Speaking.
about to say, now I want you to kick it, because I got a resource I'm gonna get to everybody. Just gotta look it up. You know what I'm saying? Bad. Go
Okay.
ahead.
So speaking of being on edge,
Richard.
because I stay up super, super, super late, and the reason, and I'll give you another analogy as to why you were up late. Because I was talking to a therapist about it.
Okay.
So I told her like I like to stay up really, really late because that's the only time nobody's bothering me. And not by
Right.
bothering me, but
Yep.
nobody asking me for
Yeah.
anything.
That's your peace
My
time.
Yeah.
son does
Yeah,
not
like,
need anything.
Yes.
Nobody can call my business, or they do, but my phone is turned off. Like those are the hours that nobody expects you to answer.
your time.
And then she gave me another reason why. She said, you want to know why, another reason why you might like the dark? She said, because she said, think about it, when you plant a seed, you put it in the dark and it waters.
Yes. Yes.
So that's another reason why you might stay up late too. Although, like I have anxiety, so I'm like, and then I
Sure.
gotta do this and try
Gotta
to
calm
like
yourself
breathe.
down. Like,
Yeah, I gotta, and then I can go to sleep. But
right.
I do think it's healthy to set boundaries in adulthood. So the question is, what does that look for your mental health and peace as a parent, as an individual?
Hold on,
So
real
for,
quick. Time out. I'm
go
sorry.
ahead,
Time out.
go
Just
ahead,
real quick to
go ahead.
address the resource I was looking for is the ACE questionnaire. You can find it anywhere on the internet. Just Google Adverse Childhood Experience Questionnaire. I implore everyone. I don't care where you're from. I don't care what your experiences was. Please take the ACEs, because it puts in perspective these factors. Because again, people have suffered through these same things they all for eternity. They get a high A score and they do just fine, right? Like case in point, I'm just gonna read one question, and I just to show how common these adverse childhood experiences are for everybody and how deep it goes with trauma, right? Did a parent or other adult in the household often push, grab, or slap or throw something at you, right? Or ever hit you so hard that you had marks and were injured, right? It's as deep as that. To how often, to simply how often do you feel no one in your family didn't look out for each other and feel close to each other or support each other? Like how often has that happened? And again, these are just some of the things that happen. Now, for some people who are watching this, they're gonna hear that like, Psh, man, what? That's just I was just growing up. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it puts you in a space. It makes you behave a way. Like you know what I'm saying? Like
That's true.
a lot of us from these disenfranchised communities, we came up believing that the way to get somebody to do something is to hit you. Do
Yeah.
what I want or I hurt you. Right?
Yep.
So
Mhm.
Yep,
that that
and because I thought the same
That
way.
logic
So with
alone,
my
like,
child, I learned to do different types of discipline because spanking is traumatizing. It can be.
it is.
yeah,
And so with
And
my
that's the part
son,
we
we
gotta
do,
deal with.
yeah. So it's funny because when we look at other cultures and they're like, "Sit down, Johnny. You're gonna go in timeout." We're like, "If girl, if you don't beat him, you have him sit
but
down."
in most cases they be needing that.
I mean, they do, but I'm
But
just saying,
it's
like,
other ways of
but we
discipline,
don't
like you
have to
said.
have our children do that. We don't have
You
to
right.
grow up whooping and spanking and having
Right.
kids grab switches from trees to get our children to cooperate. That's you just start to change things generationally. So
Yeah.
that's why I'm saying that you should set boundaries. So like for myself with my child, I'll speak as a parent first.
Hmm.
As a parent, I realize what I should not spank for.
Mm,
Right.
okay.
That those are the things that I have to put
You have
in
to cipher
first.
that.
That's
Like,
very
I have
fair.
to yeah, I have to decipher that first because I feel like if you keep spanking your child, they're just gonna get immune to it, so it's not gonna be effective anyway.
and then
You
you know a
have
lot of these children that get spanked, it's like when you walk up on the tap, they flinching and they
yeah,
jumpy and stuff
I
like
do
that.
not like that.
I've seen that a lot, and it's
Yeah.
like when you
Scariest thing in the
Like, are
world.
you scared of me?
yeah,
But that's
Yeah.
the thing, they shouldn't be. So I feel
right.
like you have to take spanking out first. And then I also have to decipher before I even get into any type of discipline, am I in the best mood for this? because I do not
Amen.
want to.
Man.
I don't. Sometimes, as a parent, you can be guilty of taking your own frustration out on your child.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one reason why. Sometimes, like I'm a yeller, so I'd rather yell than put my hands on him. But I also have to understand that if I'm yelling, the adverse effect that can put on him too.
Right.
You have to figure out what your balance is and set your boundaries on what his behavior calls for. And then with myself, for boundaries for my mental stress, one, like for my business, my partner, we switch the phone off every other week or every 2 weeks because me taking phone calls, returning phone calls, doing the emails, taking lists of all the
That's a lot.
online
Right.
website, all the website inquiries, people inboxing me on my personal Facebook and the business Facebook. There's 5 different ways to get in touch with me, and I'm answering to all 5 all day
That's a
long,
job within
non-stop.
itself. That's a lot.
So we had to separate that. She's like, look, I will take the phone from you. And when I don't have the phone right now, and I just feel at so much peace not having to answer the phone, do emails, get on a website, do the online chat feature, all that kind of stuff. And then not only do I do, event planning and all that stuff, then I have other things that I do. And it's always somebody calling me for something because I'm creative. So I start
Man.
putting my phone down when I get home, set a schedule for me and my son. When we get home, it's about 5:30, 6 o'clock. We're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna start cooking dinner. If I haven't cooked dinner already, one thing my business partner
Right.
taught me is to why I am at work, because I work for
Ah,
myself. I bring a crock pot to work.
for sure.
I bring my
Man.
and then like I drop my son off. I'll go to the grocery store and get the stuff that I'm gonna cook for the day. Put that food in the crock pot. Do our setup. Do our consultations with people. And by the time we're done for the day, my food is done in the crock pot. I can go pick my son up. Come home. Eat. Take baths. Let him play. Let's wind down. Go to bed. Get back up. Start it all over again. So one thing I said boundaries is my phone. I'm starting to put my phone down. I don't need to talk all day, every day. Everybody don't need to reach me. And I turn my phone off. Now I have my house phone. No, next to nobody has the phone number. So you can't get in touch with me. If I'm with my son, I'm good. That's the only person that needs me
Yeah, that's the only person needs your
24/7.
time. Like,
Yes, if he's with me, I don't need to talk to nobody else. We good.
right.
So that's a boundary. So what boundaries do you all have?
I'll speak to this. I'm trying to speak through it fast. Um, 'cause they wrapping us up, but it's a dope. We having a dope conversation, so it'd be
Right.
like that. But now, like I'll say, part of the things that me and my wife recently have had to discuss as far as boundaries and setting, having mental wellness and peace as a parent and an individual in our life is we're helpers. We believe God sent us here to live a life of servitude for sure, right? So in the midst of that, we end up extending ourselves to help as many people that we love as possible. You know what I mean? And I think sometimes it becomes a part of having to set the boundary of okay, I'm not going to step into your life to try to do that for you or whatever, and minding the boundaries of that, because I think that's a big part too, because um I'm one of those people that's what we like to say is an empath, right? You know what I'm saying? I feel people. You know what I'm saying? So I can
Oh,
feel.
you're an imp.
Well, no, not at all. In fact,
Right.
you know what I'm saying?
No, that's what they call them, imps.
Right.
Yeah, I know,
You
and
feel people.
I've never owned that. You know what I'm saying? I know you're right. I'm saying
Okay.
I am
All
not.
right. All
I
right.
don't like that
She
word.
said I told you it was
was
an imp. There was nothing wrong with the
Man, my
word
wife
imp.
has to. You know what I'm saying? But no, I'm never on it. Empath, 'cause that's
Why?
another way to say it. Because it's another way to say it, and I prefer that way. Imp
But it
sounds
is
like
an imp.
I'm cool.
There's
So,
nothing wrong with being an imp.
well, I'm not. You know what I'm saying? So, but
Impish,
yes,
whatever.
but yeah, thank you. You know what I'm saying? So,
Mm-hmm.
so I feel people, right? So,
Okay.
so if you put yourself in that position, every time somebody go through something, you know what I mean, and I feel like I got to be there, you know what I mean, I had to start checking myself, me and my wife, you know what I'm saying, we had to start checking ourselves into the being like, nah, man, it ain't about, you know what I'm saying, it ain't about being able to hop in. Sometimes you got to hear people out, just be able to say, okay, for sure, you know what I'm saying, and pray for them, you know what I'm saying, or whatever you do to, feel like you're doing something that's for their best interest, because that causes a thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times we could find ourselves being in these communities when we take so much stuff on from everybody else that we don't leave nothing for ourselves. We don't leave nothing for us to be able to figure out what ails us or what we need to do and what we need to do to make sure we're taking care of ourselves. You know what I mean? I think that's one of those
Right.
things. So setting those boundaries is something that recently that me and my family have been learning to really get better at. I've been working at it for about a while now, like so but it's still a problem. I mean, it's still not a problem. It's still a journey to being able to set those proper boundaries and be okay with it. Being okay with, hey, selfish doesn't have to be the worst thing in the world. You know what I'm saying? I live by a standard that there's a hierarchy of love. There's the most high of your understanding. There's you, and if you're married, that means it's you and your spouse because y'all come together as one. Then you can place anybody after you want to after that. As a parents, I suggest we all put our kids right under that. But when people say, "Oh, I love my kids more than I love myself," then you setting them up for failure anyway. You know what I'm saying? You have to love yourself more than that because if I can't give what I don't have. I love y'all. I would love to give y'all $1,000,000. I don't have $1,000,000 myself. You know what I'm saying? So I can't give y'all that. So
Right.
how can I give the best of myself to somebody if I'm not my best self? I can't give love and understanding and patience and all these wonderful things to my children if I'm not on top of myself. So yeah. Bruce?
Um, I think like the biggest thing for me was like stop being the go-to guy. Like, you feel me? And when I say that, it's like everybody depend on you to do so much. Like, do this, go pick this person up, go pick this up, go do this, go do this, go do that. It get to a point to where it got so bad to where one time it was raining real bad. And I'm like, man, I forgot to go get the cereal.
Mm.
I'm driving to the store. Somebody ran a red light. I almost tore the whole front end of my truck up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going back home. I ain't got time for this. Like, it's not worth it. Like, but then not only that, you gotta like you all just said, you have to give yourself time to recuperate and relax and just take time out to not be, just space yourself out from any and everything and just sit back and just have you some you time.
Right.
Like, especially when I got my children with me on the visitation weekend. With my children with me, all that other stuff is not important.
Right.
I cut phones off if it ain't no emergency. I know where Club Children's is at.
For
Other than that,
sure.
I'm good. We good at the house. Like, you just got to learn to manage your time as well as you got to take care of you, because if you fall, who gonna pick you up?
Right.
Now, if you married, and that's understandable, but at the same time,
Even then.
that's extra. That's extra that you putting on your mate, because they have to take care of their self and you, because you hurt yourself trying to be Superman in every situation. You can't do that.
Amen.
Can't do that. So
And
you got to give yourself time.
that matters too. And I think that's perfectly going into what we were saying. Just with everything that we've talked about, that the signs and all the stuff of being aware of what a mental overload or
Yeah.
breakdown or whatever it comes with. Let's say this, right? You know what I'm saying? It comes down to a person always having to look and say, where am I? Period. True self-awareness, right? Good, bad, ugly. Who am I? Where am I?
Gemstone.
Right now. Gemstones.
Where am I? Gemstone.
Gemstones.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I think it's a serious thing because it goes to the point where we're talking about self-care, right? So I'm gonna read this real quick. Um, self-care. Scan, a nonprofit in North Carolina, says this about self-care, and I think it's so dope, right? It says, think about what you do to care for your child every day. You feed them meals, you bathe them, you change their diapers, you play with them. If you have an older child, you might get them in sports, you help them with homework, you read with them every night. These are the basic steps of taking care of your child because we parents, right? We will
Man,
make
right.
sure we would do everything we believe we can at our best to care for our child. These same steps have to be taken with yourself. If you have to make sure you have all of that inside you to give to your children, to your family,
Yeah,
to your
definitely.
friends, to your job. If you don't have the mental health, the mental wellness, the mental stability to be able to maintain,
If your
then
mental ain't right, period.
right, you giving the less of yourself to everybody, and it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay to want help. It's okay to need help. It's okay to seek help. Seek help in your support system. Seek help outside of your support system. Help strengthen your support system with a mental health professional if that's needed. Um, Spirituality with all these different things you can do. You have to make sure you take care of yourself and you enjoy your life because it's yours. It's a gift. And you are loved and needed by somebody. That's guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? Period. So be the best you can be. And if you do ever feel like it's just too much, there are lines that you can call. There are resources out there. I'm sure that we'll in post we'll have it like either below on the screen or on the side over here somewhere. I'm sorry, yeah, on the side over
Mm-hmm.
here somewhere over here. I don't know. We got a
You gonna see
wonderful
it though, most
we have a
definitely.
wonderful engineer. I don't know where he's gonna put it. Right, but as I
That's
say,
all
it's not
for
just
us.
about Head Start, you know what I'm saying, but they got Head Start, which is here. There is the blueprint for success, you know what I'm saying, which helps people get certified to be carpenters and really make a real living
Like
for
we said
yourself.
in the last episodes and the previous episodes before that, utilize the services that are here because they will help you.
For sure. GCMI, you know what I'm saying? Great Cincinnati Micro
Fatherhood
Improvising.
program. They got a program for the mothers. They got a lot of things going on here. Chanel helps out with a whole lot of things here as well. So, hey, big ups to Miss Wood down there at the screen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sure enough.
Yes, I
Most
support
definitely.
all of
Yeah.
Community Action Agency, the whole thing. I'm here every day. I might as well get a
Right.
job, but I enjoy working for myself too much. So, oh, and don't forget to ask your teacher for an invite to ReadyRosie.com.
Yeah.
All
That's
my
a
Head
really
Start
great
parents, make
reading
sure you holler at
program.
your teachers about that.
Yes, so ask them what Ready Rosie is. We will not tell you, but we want you to engage with your teacher
Why won't you tell them, Chanel?
because I need to be looking at Ready Rosie myself.
Because I
So
don't
We
remember.
all need to
I'm
tag
not
in
gonna
that. You
lie,
feel
I
me?
have not done
Yeah.
Ready Rosie.
Hey.
Hold on, she said because we don't.
Cause we don't know.
Because we ain't got it. No. So
No,
now,
but it's a
Right.
we do
program
know.
that they bought
Hey,
into,
it's a good
and so we
program,
think
man.
it is really important. It is supporting reading. So I'm gonna ask my son's teacher tomorrow about Ready Rosie, and
Yeah.
get side on.
Did you know research says that 75% of third graders are behind in reading? I don't get it. Studies also show that 3/5 of fourth graders have not mastered math. I don't understand fractions, but that sounds bad.
I am only in school 35 hours a week. Guess where I am the rest of the time? With you.
With you.
With you.
Sure, I could spend those hours doing this. But research says that talking with you has a huge influence on my brain development.
I know what you're thinking. What on earth will we talk about?
I know what we can talk about. Let me introduce you to Ready Rosie.
Ready Rosie is all about connecting families with schools and building on strengths. We wanted to create a cohesive way to bridge the gap between school life experiences and home life experiences so that our children can excel at a whole new level. So, how do we do that? What is Ready Rosie? Ready Rosie is a communications and content platform, which means it's a way to receive information and resources directly from your child's teacher. One of the main resources you'll receive is the modeled moment videos that use real families to demonstrate creative learning opportunities. We show you how to take advantage of bringing up conversations and interactions with your child to boost learning in your home life. Each modeled moment video is about 2 minutes long and is intended for you to watch the interaction and then do the activity together with your child. And the best part is, these videos are delivered automatically to your phone or computer via text and email. You'll get a weekly playlist of videos chosen just for you that will even include recommendations coming from your child's teacher. You can also go to the Library tab in your dashboard and search the full library for subjects, locations, learning challenges, or activities you want to focus on. We've also included a section on research and answers, where you can hear early childhood experts share the latest research and advice on discipline, communication skills, and more topics of interest. With Ready Rosie in the palm of your hand, you'll be able to bridge the gap between school life experiences and home life experiences. You can now leverage bringing up conversations, bringing up expectations, and yes, even bringing up grades.
Again, I know what you're thinking.
I'm not good at spelling.
I don't understand that new math. Guess what? It doesn't matter, and I bet you're better than you think.
Usually some important expert would finish his video by telling you why it's important to help me with school. But there's no better expert on me than you.
You! I can feel my brain growing.
We also are going to have more videos for more parents being able to talk and be a part of the conversation. It helps. It's a really, really cool thing. So man, how everybody feel? How y'all feel tonight? I feel like this is a great
good,
discussion.
man. You know,
Yes, I think we need to manifest it into a mental health day for the parents.
we definitely do.
For
Definitely.
parents that are in our alliance as well as downstairs.
They need
I'm
to
about to say
learn-
for sure because they do it in the city. There
you
are
need to- you
plenty
need
of
to learn more about it because it's definitely, you got to touch on it because like
It's
you
real
said,
important.
you said in the beginning, like when they say mental health, they automatically think the worst. You have to dig deep down into it to see what it is so you won't go off word of mouth, find out for
Yes.
yourself.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? Gemstone. Let's keep that going. And I do want to say again, man, shout out to every parent that's watching. Please give feedback.
Yeah, we need y'all
Post
positive feedback. We need
Do
the
some
comments,
research.
everything.
Right, we
want-
need critical feedback. We need.
most definitely. Yeah.
Hold on, Chanel. I want you to talk to the camera. No, do that again. I want the now talk so the camera can see you.
Hey.
Right. We have fun here too, man. You know what's
Hey,
up?
listen.
Support each
Like I
other.
said, hey man,
We have fun on the podcast.
everything that we're doing again is a really big deal. We appreciate everybody. We want to keep hearing feedback. We want to keep being
Yes,
involved.
we do.
This podcast was created so parents can reach parents because it's better information given out that way.
Yeah. And I
next
can't wait for the next episode.
Yeah, the next
yeah.
episode
Oh,
we're going to
yes,
be discussing
yeah,
family and domestic violence.
Yep.
You know,
And what is
real
considered
thing.
Yep, and what is considered domestic violence and how it can affect our children and the co-parenting dynamic between parents.
Ooh.
So,
you got
shout out to all the
everybody-
parents
ooh,
watching.
gotta tune
Please
in.
give us feedback and what would you like us to talk about next? So, fellas, what do we always say? We do this podcast because real mothers matter. Real
fathers matter.
fathers matter. And real.
We're going to start over.
Hey, can we
Okay,
edit
here we
that?
Yeah, okay, here we go. Ready?
Right,
Real
mothers
matter. Real
fathers
matter.
matter.
Real
families
family matter.
It's time for the perculator. It's time for the perculator. It's time for the percolator. 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 It's time for the
I know what you were saying. You don't have to keep asking.
The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the presenters and guests, and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the Cincinnati-Hamilton County Community Action Agency or its Head Start program.